So the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix is in the books, and what an epic Grand Prix. Chaos. Absolute chaos. On today's video, we'll be doing an evidence-based deep dive into the key flashpoint between Max Verstappen and Lewis. Lap 37, they're coming together. Was it a clumsy overtake by Lewis? Why didn't he take the inside more? Did Max Verstappen brake test him? Was there intent, or was it another failing on behalf of the stewards and communication to the team? Let's get straight into it. We are lap 37 heading into turn 26. Critically at this point, Lewis has received no communication that Max has been instructed he's going to give back the place. Max begins what's a fairly linear deceleration, and on approach, Max begins a much more aggressive deceleration now and catches Lewis half by surprise, and then we get the coming together. So I'll be honest, as I'm watching it the first time round in real time, I blamed Lewis with caveats. I mean, we all saw the chaos that ensued in the race. Virtual safety car, actual safety car, red flag, yellow flag. It was carnage. So how do you expect Lewis Hamilton, after he's been fighting tooth and nail with Max Verstappen, to preempt and deal with, at circa 200 kilometers an hour, a rapidly decelerating Max Verstappen? Yeah, he was a bit clumsy, but context here is key. So I thought, until I paid closer attention to Max's onboard exclusively. Let's have a look. So as we approach the scene of the incident, turn 26, lap 37, what I want you guys to pay attention to is the telemetry, specifically the speedometer. So again, here you can see it's gradual, then all of a sudden from 160, you get a rapid deceleration. So this go round, I want you guys to pay attention to the distance markers on the left and the rapid deceleration there. So I'm not sure this passes the eye test here for Max. The rapid deceleration is manifesting the movement between those distance markers. You can see it, right? I'm not sure how you could expect even somebody with the cat-like reflexes of a Lewis Hamilton to avoid a collision there. And the issue here being Max's sudden and abrupt deceleration is further borne out by the great work that the guys of Project F1 have done. Up to the 5200 meter distance mark, Max's deceleration is fairly linear, but then you get this sudden drop off right as Lewis is on top of Max Verstappen, which ultimately only decreases the amount of reaction time Lewis would have had to avert their coming together. So if you're trying to make a case for Max here not being the key driver of the incident, it's tough. If we're going to use litigation terms here, all of this evidence, a cacophony of evidence in fact, points to actus rea. Based on the footage that we've seen and the telemetry that underlines that, it's almost impossible to deny that Max Verstappen deliberately brake tested Lewis Hamilton. In deciding to penalise the driver of car 33, Max Verstappen, the key point for the stewards was that the driver of car 33 then braked suddenly 69 bar and significantly, resulting in a 2.4 G deceleration. The stewards continue, whilst accepting that the driver of car 44, Lewis Hamilton, could have overtaken car 33 when the car first slowed. We understand why he and the driver of car 33, Max Verstappen, did not wish to be the first to cross the DRS line. However, the sudden braking of car 33 was deemed by the stewards to be erratic, and hence the predominant cause of the collision, and hence the standard penalty of 10 seconds for this type of incident is imposed. 2.4 G in deceleration, 69 bar. This was deliberate, Max, and the stewards need to be commended on this, because for once it feels like they got something right. We can debate the severity of the 10-second penalty if you're arguing whether this was better or worse than Lewis at Silverstone. I'd argue that this is 10 times worse. It's deliberate. It's evident that it was a deliberate attempt to cause an accident. Let's not all have short memories and pretend like we forget Jacques Villeneuve brake testing Ralf Schumacher, or a very similar incident in David Coulthard and Michael Schumacher. Not to forget Alonso and Gutierrez. These are all deadly serious incidents, right? And again, if I address that 10-second penalty, the stewards are walking a very fine line between sports and entertainment and keeping these guys safe. I'm not going to labour the consistency point, but that's exactly what we need to keep these F1 drivers safe. So if we've nailed actus rea, then the only defence that Max potentially has is mens rea. Maybe you could argue that he wasn't intending to crash, he just braked abruptly because he wanted Lewis to go by him. So what I want you to pay attention to this time round is Max's helmet. Count how many times you think he looks left into his left wing mirror to sight Lewis prior to deceleration. So I'm counting no fewer than 6 times. 6 times. So when you put together the package of evidence, it feels fishy, man. We'll never know specifically on the general intention of Max, only he will know. If you hold on to everything that we've just explored and evidenced and compare that to Max's recount during the press conference, you get a stark contrast.
Then at one point they told me I had to give the position back. So then that was, I think, just before 22. So then after 22, 23, I went to drive to the right side and I slowed down and I was braking, downshifting, and he just stayed super close behind me. And I don't really understand why. I was just trying to let him by. And then I'm just going slower and slower, pulling the downshift. And then we had a miscommunication or whatever, and he ran into the back of me. Yeah, that was it.
Oh, Max. A miscommunication or whatever. No mention of the hard press of the brake pedal. It's a really, really tough ask to defend Max Verstappen on this one. Love the guy to bits, but no. Max interprets a hard press of the brake pedal as a miscommunication. I've got my own opinions on this one. I'm gonna let you guys be the judges. Thank you so much for watching another video. Appreciate you all supporting the channel. Like, comment, pull the switch back on the subscribe, and as always, I've been Cameron. Look but never stare. Enjoy the racing, guys. I'll see you on the next one.